Hey Fit Fam, Coach Rye from Team Flex. Today we're gonna dive into Taiwan Pro Bikini. We're gonna review our top 3 winners, kind of go over criteria, why the placings landed the way they did, and what that means for you as a bikini competitor, no matter your level. These videos, you guys, I like to go in depth. I like to dive in and talk about everything, you know, criteria-wise, what it means, how the placings went, so that you know, as a competitor, no matter your level, how you can go to stage being most confident you've done the work to, you know, get a good placing, do well at your competitions, and continue to advance as an athlete. And that's what we do on this channel. So please make sure you're riding along with me. Give me that subscribe, and anytime you guys can, thumbs up button really helps me out. YouTube does not love competition reviews. It does not love bikini competitors. It does not love bodybuilding in general. So every time that you guys do something like that, it really does help support the channel, and that's gonna help me keep these coming out. All right, so let's talk. So Taiwan Pro just went down. Very exciting time. We have a couple athletes here. We're gonna talk about our top 3 basically. So first we have Sarah. All right, she is the winner, Olympia qualified. Now she will be at Olympia. Very exciting time. Well, if she decides to go, of course, but she is now qualified. Charlotte over here taking second, and then Yume over here in third. So I want to talk about each one of these athletes. We're talking about bikini. So bikini is hourglass shape, and you see right out the gate, every single one of these athletes really has that. The width to the shoulders that creates that first bit of that hourglass, tapers into the tiny waist. Gotta have this right here, and then widens back out into the lower body, the glutes, the legs, everything else here. It is really all about, in this division, the hourglass shape. My lines are looking a little wild today. Had a little too much coffee, but that's all right. You know, we're looking at hourglass, up, down, left, right, perfect symmetry in bikini, okay? And with that, you gotta have the right conditioning to show some softer lines and everything else to show the separation of the muscles. All these athletes really do have that, okay? So let's talk about Sarah now specifically and go a little bit more in depth. So Sarah has that nice roundness, fullness effect to the shoulders, the bicep, tricep to match. Really good from here. A lot of competitors don't pay attention to this, but this lat, okay? Lats in bikini, not directly judged. You know, your hair's down in the back. You're not getting scored on lats in that degree, but they can from the front really help enhance that shape. If you got high lat, pull in, and then you pull it into the waist pretty quick, it looks dramatic to show like, whoa, that's a pretty good taper. So Sarah really has that here. She's really showcasing that, coming into a nice small waist here. Judges want to see that. Oblique lines, everything good. Widening back out into the lower body now. Upper glute very developed. Got to have that. Glute fullness overall. And then the quads and the hamstrings that match. Her quads and her hamstrings match her lower body nicely. So looking at this, very good structure for bikini. No doubt a winning physique right here just from looking at that. Now, let's move outside our calls here, okay? So we're going into second place now, looking at Charlotte. So Charlotte here, again, has a lot of the markers. Little less fullness to her shoulders, though, right out the gate, you'll notice. You still have that shape, but not as much fullness. Her whole look kind of looks a little bit, you know, leaner in that sense, a little bit more conditioned, looks a little bit more, you know, for lack of a better term, not as full. So not as full of a physique there, in my opinion. You know, shoulders still had that shape. She's got a little bit less to the lat, though, than Sarah does. You know, waist is still very good. Everything's here. We're talking about top 3, by the way, you guys. I like great physiques across the board. Very, very competitive, ladies. Great job. Just trying to go over criteria to expand more for the audience here, all of you out here, what we're actually looking at, what judges want to be seeing, you know, across the division. All of these athletes, however, if you're NPC, they reflect what you should be looking to, you know, go for if you're trying to get a pro card, okay? So now looking lower body more, a little bit more flattened out in her upper glute than Sarah is, and, you know, overall fullness is there. Nice symmetry in the lower body for Charlotte as well. I think that her main key here, she may be a little bit too lean, maybe a little bit too dieted, not as full in the muscle. That could have been a factor for her. And then we look over here at Yume. She's got a great physique, good shoulders, good taper, nice waistline, everything's good. Upper glute looks good, glute fullness. She just lacks the same muscular density as the 2 athletes in, you know, Sarah and Charlotte, basically. Above her. I think she just needs a little bit more time to work on those muscles, really kind of fill out her frame. Her physique is a little bit more up and down versus hourglass, which is important. This happens a lot to NPC level competitors as well. You know, it really takes a long time to build your hourglass, and obviously we're looking at the pros here, but it really does take a long time to be able to build that shape and bring that in, so make sure you have that. Now let's take a look at the back, because the back really always does tell the story. Okay, so Sarah, again, very killer back pose even for her. Like this is very, very good. You know, we see the shoulder depth here, we see the taper, all of those markers, everything we want. Glutes look very nicely proportioned. Upper glute is right there. You know, overall glute fullness, the separation, the glute ham tie-in zone, everything is really dialed nice, and it's just as it should be. Fullness with a little bit of separation, not overdeveloped, not overstriated, everything there. Quads on the outside here, hamstrings to match. Very nice overall physique. A lot of good lines, a lot of good fullness. Again, no doubt Sarah is the winner in this back pose. We look over at Charlotte here. Again, remember I said she looked a little bit, you know, honestly, like kind of a depleted physique, a little bit too lean maybe, not as full. She's got that going on in the back pose a bit here too, I think. So again, good shape to the shoulders, nice taper. Glutes look a little bit flat in the upper glute. Overall, just not as much pop, not as much coming out of them. Still got good separation. Conditioning was there. Conditioning may have been a little bit too far, or she just needed to fill out her physique a little bit more, I think, and that would have made a big difference. Yume over here, she's got, you know, a little bit lacking in the shoulder department compared to the two competitors above her, and her glutes seem disproportionately more dominant in this back pose, which again, you might say, okay, well, that makes sense. It's bikini. That glute dominance should help her, right? No, not really, because again, bikini is hourglass shape, up, down, left, right, perfect symmetry. It is symmetrical, symmetrical, symmetrical. So the athlete that is most symmetrical is going to be the one that wins. And again, that's Sarah here. So Yume, I think, you know, needs to bring up the upper body a bit to kind of balance herself out a little more, and maybe even consider toning down the glute development a bit, okay? Because she's got very developed glutes. Upper glute is popping for sure. Overall glute, that's why you're getting such a strong tie-in. But again, you know, that's still putting her in third over in other words, Sarah and Charlotte here. So again, really nice lineup here, physiques. The criteria for you to understand as a bikini competitor is basically, you know, you got to really focus on that hourglass. And it's not just a combination of being lean. A lot of competitors get stuck on that. They think leaner, leaner, leaner. Okay, well, Charlotte, I think, pushed conditioning a bit, and she may have lost a little bit of muscle doing that, a little fullness. They could have edged her out over Sarah. Sarah brings home this look and this physique because she really does have that fullness, that conditioning to match, and the overall shape, the symmetry, everything. So that's very exciting, you guys. I want to know who you think won in your opinion in this lineup. Does everything I said make sense? Do you disagree? Comment it down below. Let me know what you think and who you think should have won. And if you like the idea of how these pro shows are lining out, right? 2024 season, we're going to see a lot of these athletes that are going to go, you know, to Olympia and things like that. So going to be a very exciting time for bikini division. Let me know what you think, and please make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching. Coach Rye is out.